It is my privilege to introduce to you a friend that I've known and trusted for over 10 years, Jim Lees. He is the creator of this video, Safe for Sure, How to Avoid Becoming an Assault Victim. In order to bring you the very best training in self-defense, he has acquired knowledge from police officers, military experts, and martial arts masters. Jim is a former FBI agent. He's had 4 years of intense training in martial arts and has had 1 year of specialized training.
Assaults are increasing in number and severity. More and more attackers are using knives and guns to threaten, hurt, and kill innocent victims. Some attackers appear friendly. For example, a smiling person could approach a lady and ask for directions, but then stab her and steal her purse. There are a number of reasons why people assault others, but the bottom line is that ruthless attackers are so intent on assaulting someone that they risk going to jail or prison for 6 months up to a year. Most people depend on the police to protect them. However, depending on the police to protect you is not a solution. Are the police always with you wherever you go? Of course not. There's a limited number of police officers to protect a large population. In a typical suburb, there is a ratio of 1 police officer to protect 5,000 people. So the police will probably not be near you at the time of the assault. The response time for a suburb is roughly 7 to 10 minutes after the crime. The police response time for a larger city can be up to 2 to 3 hours. A top law enforcement officer in Wisconsin tells residents that they have the duty to protect themselves until police arrive. This sheriff says that just calling 911 for help and waiting for police is not the best option. In a few minutes, I'll teach you many things you can do to protect yourself and your loved ones. Even an 80-year-old person could do these things. But your first priority should be to try to avoid danger. Avoid dark, isolated places. Attackers like places like that because there will be no witness of the victims and there will be no one to help the victim. Avoid places where there's questionable activity. If you're out somewhere and you're uncomfortable with a person who's near you or coming near you, start moving quickly to the safest place. If they follow you, when they're about 50 feet away, turn directly to them and demand they come no closer. If they continue to come closer, then use the tactics and techniques I teach you here. Assault is a violent physical attack against somebody. Your attitude is very, very important to survive. You need to be determined and decide that you and your loved ones will be safe, which means you need to learn how to protect yourself. When assault happens, you do not know what kind of weapons the assailant has. You need to be prepared by having a number of different weapons, as I'll cover in just a little bit. I want to mention some things about date rape because it's increasing greatly. Number 1, date rape, of course, is somebody trying to force someone else to have sex with them. In order to be safe and free from being a victim of date rape, you need to know where you are in a geographic area so where you can escape to go. You need to know the building layout, so what door you can get out to be free. And you need to learn the tactics that I teach you here. It'll help you greatly. It's best not to have any physical contact if you can help it. When I first start introducing different weapons and tactics, you'll see that that's the emphasis there, but you may not be able to avoid it. Physical contact may happen anyway. I'm going to talk about guns right now. A gun is probably the most superior weapon because of the shooting distance it has and because of the power it has to hurt someone, to stop someone who will be coming after you. If you choose to carry a gun, you need to be ready to use it at all times. For example, imagine somebody pointing a gun at me and the gun is already drawn. If my hand is not on my gun that can grab it quickly, they have the advantage over me. I may not be able to get to my gun. It'd be very wise to have my hand on my gun in my pocket as I'm walking along, ready to use it. Timing is very important in a lot of these weapons that I'm talking about here. From a legal standpoint, there's a number of things that you need to be able to point out when you're being questioned by the police if you use a gun. Number 1, you have to convince the police officer that you were a reluctant participant, that you really didn't want to use a gun, but you felt you had to save your life. You also have to express that you were in immediate fear of death or great bodily harm. You also have to explain that there's no retreat, there's no way you could get free, and that no lesser force would do. The next weapon I want to talk about is pepper spray. Most of you might know about pepper spray, but you're not going to use pepper spray and pull it out immediately. You want to use your hand to distract your attacker and do something like this. Stay away, and have your pepper spray either down at your side or in your pocket. And when they get 6 to 8 feet away, that's when you pull out your pepper spray and start spraying it. If you pull it out too soon, they might see it and grab it from you. These are street people, they're pretty smart. They're used to street fighting. So you need to not pull out too soon. You can't always use pepper spray. It's not always a good weapon, because if there's a strong wind coming towards you, that's called backlash. When you try to spray it on your attacker, it will come back on you. There's certain buildings you cannot use pepper spray in. For example, you can't take it on a plane, and you can't shoot it if there's innocent people behind your attacker, and cause them harm. So pepper spray is good, but you have to think about sometimes that you aren't able to use it. Same with a gun. There's a new defense device on the market. It's called Key Defense, and it's only 3.5 inches long. The blade is only 2 inches long. It's very narrow, easy to jab or stab somebody with for penetrating the skin. It's got on both sides of the blade serrations which have a certain purpose. I'll cover in a minute. What's unique about the Key Defense is that your attacker probably wouldn't see it very easily like he would see the pepper spray or a gun if you pulled out a gun. And you want to jab this, stab people, try to penetrate their skin. It's very easy to do because it's very pointed at the end, and again, it's a narrow blade. And the nice thing about this, these jagged serrations are designed to accumulate DNA to help to be used to try to help find your attacker and arrest them. So this Key Defense is very, very excellent. I've gone into courthouses, public government places in the past fine. I was able to put it in, and they thought it was just regular keys. That's why you call it Key Defense. Now I'm going to show you and talk with you about actual martial arts type moves that are very, very simple and very, very effective. It doesn't take much strength, but the effectiveness is great. The first one is an eye gouge. You have your hand open. You're going to thrust your hand into the eyes of your attacker, okay? And you want to enter the eye socket with your fingers as much as a 1/2 inch if possible. And don't withdraw right away. If you can get your fingers into the sockets, move around for a little bit. You're trying to damage the eye. You're trying to make it so this person can't see for quite a while so you can get away. So the eye gouge is very, very effective. It doesn't matter if the man is 350 pounds and as strong as an ox. The next martial arts move I want to teach you is the throat strike. Again, it's very effective, just like the eye gouge. There's a number of different ways you can do the throat strike. One is like this, holding your hand as wide open as you can so the webbing is tight. Okay? You're going to slam it into the person's throat. You may need to do it a number of different times. You can strike like this, or a punch like this, or you can do it with your elbow. 3 different ways, whatever you're most comfortable with. But plan on doing it more than once. You want to hurt the attacker so they stop. The next martial arts move is something that you might be relate to when you're a kid, if anyone ever yelled when they're close to your ear, but it is the ear audio strike. We're actually going to yell in their ear as closely to their ear as you can. It's very, very painful, and it could do temporary damage to the eardrum. Scream in their ear as loud as you can. Again, I said, even an 80-year-old person could do these moves. There's another ear strike I'm going to show you. You're going to cup your hands a little bit, and you're going to clap your hands against their head, hitting over their ears. Like the ear audio, it's very, very painful. Easy to do. One more ear strike is you grab this ear with these 4 fingers. You're grabbing behind the ear and squeezing it tight against your palm. and you literally rip the ear off the person's head. Grab it tight as you can and rip off. Can you imagine what that would feel like? Plus all the blood would make them feel very uncomfortable. The other strike is easy also, and it's to the clavicle bone right here. It comes right across here. I'll show you on me, right here, okay? And what you do is you strike not with your hand, with your lower part of the bone of your arm. You're going to use that to strike the clavicle with. You simply come down on the clavicle like that. It only takes 15 pounds of pressure to break the clavicle. And after you do that, again, even if he's 350 pounds, all muscle, he won't be able to move. He'll be in so much pain, and you'll be able to walk away and be free. I'm going to talk about the groin strike in a little bit different way than most people are accustomed to. Most people think about kicking in the groin, which may work sometimes. But the person may not be standing dead on where the groin is open. Therefore, a groin kick wouldn't work. Or it could be outside on an icy winter day, and you go to do the groin kick and you slip. Now you're at a disadvantage laying on the ground. So the groin strike that anyone can do, open palm, you come down as hard as you can up into the groin area, slam it, and then you grab the male organs and squeeze. You'll be able to get free. The last martial arts move is something that's very effective. Again, anybody can do it. It's a bite. But where you bite is very, very important. You want to bite an area of the person's body who's attacking you that he's moving to hold on to you or to hurt you. And those places would be the fingers. Bite hard on the fingers, and not one little short bite. Grinding down, excruciating pain. Or it could be in the palm, on either side, the wrist, and even the bicep. You could, if a person was wearing a coat, it was wintertime and you couldn't get the bicep, you could bite in the neck. I'm not trying to be funny. You want to create pain and stop that person from coming after you. I care about you and I really want you to be safe and free from harm. But I did save the best for last. A very strategic thing you could do is turn your heart, your mind, and your life to Jesus Christ. I want to read a section from the Bible that is very meaningful. Psalm 18. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. My God is the one in whom I take refuge. He reached down from on high and took hold of me. He rescued from my powerful enemy, from my foes who were too strong for me. They confronted me in the day of my disaster, but the Lord was my support. I wish you well. God bless you.